Default of 1790, the first bankruptcy of the United States after the War of Independence. In the late 18th century, the United States of America was facing serious financial difficulties. The War of Independence, from 1775 to 1783, left the country with massive debts that needed to be addressed. The first bankruptcy of the United States, which occurred in 1790, was a milestone in the country's financial history and had a significant impact on its future. Causes of default. After the War of Independence, the new government apparatus was faced with the need to finance its operations and repay its debts. The main factors contributing to the default were: 1. War debts. During the war, the colonies borrowed money from both foreign powers and their own citizens. The debts were mostly in the form of bonds that the government issued to finance the war effort. 2. Lack of a strong central government. The Constitution of 1787 had just gone into effect, and the government was not yet strong enough to effectively collect taxes and manage debts. 3. Economic instability. The economy was struggling after the war. Inflation and government deficits exacerbated the financial situation. Default process. In 1790, the financial situation reached a critical point. Major creditors such as France and Spain demanded repayment of debts, while domestic creditors, including the military and ordinary citizens, also expected repayment. In response to the mounting pressure, the U.S. Congress, under the leadership of Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton, developed a plan to restructure the debts. Hamilton proposed two main steps. 1. Debt consolidation. He proposed that the federal government should assume all state debts, which would make the government more creditworthy and capable of debt management. This decision caused considerable controversy among states that had already paid off their debts. 2. Issuing new bonds. To pay off old debts, Hamilton proposed issuing new bonds that would provide funding for the future. This decision was met with mixed reviews, as many saw it as a move to increase debt dependency. Through debate and compromise, Congress passed a bill in July 1790 that created a federal debt that was to be paid off after a certain period of time. This was effectively a recognition that the country could not pay off all of its debts at once, and instead chose a strategy to manage them. The default of 1790 had several significant consequences for the United States. First, it strengthened federal power. The adoption of Hamilton's plan helped create a stronger central government that became capable of managing the economy and debt. Second, it led to the establishment of a new financial system. This included the creation of a central bank, the first bank of the United States, founded in 1791, marking the beginning of modern financial institutions. Third, it caused political divisions. The default and related measures led to the emergence of political factions. Federalists who supported Hamilton and anti-federalists who opposed his policies became the basis for the formation of the first political parties in the United States. Finally, it resulted in long-term financial obligations. While short-term measures were enacted, long-term debt repayment obligations remained relevant. This set a precedent for future financial crises. The default of 1790 was a milestone in the history of financial management in the United States. It paved the way for a more organized and centralized financial system that could handle debt and economic challenges. This first bankruptcy experience in the nation's history was a lesson that influenced future financial policies and built awareness of the need for sustainable public financial management.